Okay, today on paper towel napkin, we're making shakshuka. It's a Middle Eastern dish, mainly from Israel, but it's pretty good because I'm adding some Syrian spices in it today. I'm going to start out with some peppers and onions and a little bit of olive oil, and I've started sauteing them. Get a nice little translucence from them, as they would say. Melting them down a little bit. This is basically going to end up like a fry pan stew. A lot of people, like I said yesterday, eat it with pita bread and dip it in there, but we scratch that and actually just do it like a bowl. We put it in a bowl like this. So anyway, so after you get your onions and peppers sauteed a little bit, you're going to add in some garlic, which I've already done. My sous chef showed up today, thank God. I don't know how that would have happened if I didn't have her here. That would be me. Anyway, so you get the garlic in there. I learned the hard way that if you do put garlic in first before anything else, it will burn and get really a weird, funky flavor. So you add it after you've started sauteing some veggies. Doesn't really matter what veggies, but in this case, like I said, it's peppers and onions. And we get these dialed down a little bit. Shakshuka is basically a vegetarian dish, believe it or not. It's has no meat in it. It's got eggs, and it's used traditionally for breakfast in the Middle East. My husband's half Syrian. This is kind of a new recipe for us, but if you saw on my post earlier, we have some really cool Middle Eastern recipes from the Syrian people, who a lot of them were persecuted Christians and came here in the 20s and 30s and settled mostly in New Jersey. So Jim's family has a lot of roots in New Jersey and Florida, and his dad loved to garden and cook, and his mom, my mother-in-law, gave me all these really cool recipes and then gave me that book, and then my cousins, Jamie and Joey, have kept me focused on the right way to cook Middle Eastern food. So that looks pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. It smells amazing. You would not have liked the smells in my house earlier because I took pine nuts and tried to roast them and burn them, and it was a really funky smell. Pine nuts are part of this dish, but they're not roasted today. Okay, so after you get all that done, like that, looks pretty good. You're going to add in some Roma tomatoes. I like them the best. They seem to hold up really well. And you add those in, and then you're going to add in some, ooh, it's noisy today. Going to add in some crushed diced tomatoes. Leave the sauce in the pan. Just canned, no seasoning. I don't like seasoned anything from a store. I'll do the seasoning myself. And you're just going to break this down a little bit. The ultimate goal here is to get this soupy enough that you can actually poach an egg in this sauce. And you're going to have to cook it down quite a bit in order to get to that point, which I'm telling you, it's definitely worth the wait. So prep time on this is probably like maybe 15 minutes to do all the veggies, open the cans, yada, yada, yada. And then get everything cooking. I would say it's another good 35 minutes because you really want things to cook down, because the pièce de résistance, however you say that, is adding the eggs in. So I'll be back in a few minutes when this simmers down a little bit, literally and figuratively, and then we'll go on to the next step. See ya. So we're getting there. I forgot to say a couple things. I salt and pepper the onions and peppers, and also so a couple things here I forgot to mention earlier. I did salt and pepper the peppers and onions a little bit before I put them in the pan. Use olive oil to get things stoked up a little bit. And remember that lemon from yesterday? I'm using her again. Little lemon zest in with the vegetables to the beginning. It's really nice. Just gives it a little bit more citrus flavor, a little acid. I know there's acid with the tomato, or the tomatoes, but I don't know, lemon is really nice zest. Also, some people add honey to this. Actually, I normally do, but I ran out and I forgot to get some for this recipe, so we're just gonna work without it today, which is totally fine. You don't need it. The lemon smells awesome with this. See how those veggies are breaking down? Getting ready to cook off a little bit. Eventually I'll put in some tomato paste, but not right now. I need it to cook down some more. So we'll be back in a couple minutes. See ya. Okay, here comes the tricky part. We've got a good simmering, almost a bubbling boil going on with the veggies and the tomatoes. Added in some tomato paste. Kind of juicy. Things are melting down really well, I think. The next part are the eggs. That's what makes the dish. So I'm turning my heat down a little bit. I know it's still simmering. The trick with this one is to put in each egg individually. It's kind of a hassle, but it tastes so good. So you make kind of little pockets to put the eggs in. My husband likes, of course, a million eggs, which don't fit in my little pan. A lot of people, when they put the eggs in, they put their pan in the oven and let the eggs cook in the oven. My issue is that I don't have that kind of a pan right now, so I have to actually cook them on the stovetop, which is fine because all you need to do is just put a cover on it and let it poach, basically. You're looking for a nice runny egg that has some firmness to it, but not too much to like make it hard and yucky and crispy and bleh. So we're gonna try to add the eggs now one at a time. Risky on the edge of my pan, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So there's one. Oops. Two. Didn't break. Score. Three. Yep, he likes a lot of eggs. This recipe normally calls for about 5 eggs, but Jim likes his protein. There's 4. 5. 6. One right in the middle just to make like a little pretty star thing going on. Let me show you. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Can't turn it too much, but it's pretty cool. Now, I do like to add a little pepper on now, but I'm not going to because I have that amazing Da sauce, which I posted about earlier. That's a Middle Eastern combination spice. It's amazing. It's cardamom, cinnamon, allspice, a whole bunch of different things like that. I posted the recipe too. And that is your finishing touches to the flavor. So that's why you don't use a lot of flavor when you're preparing this. You put it on top when you get done. So I'm gonna cover this for about maybe 5 minutes or so. And then once it's done, with eggs are done to my satisfaction, then I will add on the sauces and the cheese and parsley and pine nuts. Not burnt this time, just wanted to prove to you that it's not burnt. And we will eat dinner. All right, so this is not too hard of a recipe to try at home, and it's really healthy, and it's like breakfast for dinner kind of thing, but it's a lot of fun. And if you like tomatoes and cheese and eggs, you cannot go wrong with this. All right, so I'll be back when the eggs are done. See ya. Okay, we're back. The eggs are poached. I'm gonna turn off the heat completely, take it off the heat completely. But look at that. They're a little bit overdone, to be quite honest with you. But I was looking at that cookbook that I posted, and it was so cool because this is the last edition of this was in 1982, which is way before some of your times. But it said in one of the paragraphs, when families share experiences together, it is often at the dinner table they open their hearts and homes to friends and family members, giving thanks for the many blessings they have been giving. It is hoped that the recipes within this book will provide a source of information and enjoyment for all those who seek to experience and share the joys of Middle Eastern cooking. Isn't that sweet? I mean, isn't that what it's all about, really? Okay, so we're done with the shakshuka. That was the hardest part. Now is just garnishing and making it look fabulous. So, got my little soup bowl here. Take that out. Take one egg, plant it right in the soup. You know what? It's okay if it breaks. It's okay. I'm going to use a different kind of spatula here. There you go. Look at that. Okay. Next step. The da'a, which I was telling you about. That's cardamom, cinnamon, a whole bunch of different Middle Eastern flavors, cloves. And so you take a little bit of that. I make this ahead of time and I keep it in my pantry. And I use it on pretty much anything Middle Eastern, lamb, all sorts of different parsley dishes and stuff like that. But anyway, this is really good. It's very strong. You don't need a lot. But like this much will last you probably a year. So you take a little sprinkle of that. You're good. And then some pine nuts, not burned. Because those are so yummy, and probably, I don't know if any Middle Eastern dish should be without pine nuts. That's just me. Some feta cheese. All right, another rich protein to add with the eggs. And then last but not least, of course, a little parsley, just for garnish, and it's got good flavor. It really adds a lot to these Middle Eastern dishes. It adds a lot to any dish, but especially Middle Eastern. So there you go, shakshuka for dinner. Enjoy. Hope you try it at home. See ya.